New South Wales analyst Mark Rhoden. How are you, Mark?
Very well, thanks Mark, how are you?
Yep, yeah, good. You're right in the heart. We spoke briefly last week. You're right in the heart of about 9 metro meetings in a row.
That's right, yeah, we're coming to the end of it. We've got Canterbury tonight and Randwick tomorrow. Good card at Randwick tomorrow. Canterbury wouldn't be a bad card tonight, except it's at Canterbury on a 6 metre rail, so it'll be just chaos getting to that rail, so I'm intending to tread pretty warily there, but I'll have the set out at 2 o'clock for that one.
Yep.
But I think just as a symptom of how the racing affects it, we've got Hawkesbury on Sunday, which is the 11th meeting in 9 days, and they've come up with a 6 race card, so if that's not a lesson for them, I don't know what is. So, if you're going to just jam that much racing into the schedule, something's going to suffer.
Very much a social day out that one.
I'd say so. Yes, if you want to go and breathe in some smoke fumes and watch 6 ordinary races, Hawkesbury's the place to be.
Yeah, fair enough. As you said, Randwick tomorrow looks like a pretty decent card.
It is good.
There's there's the $500,000 English nursery.
Yeah, no.
Isn't typically where you play.
No, we'll just bin that.
But we'll have a look at the. There's also a listed race, the Christmas Cup over 2400.
We'll get to that
And the listed Razor Sharp over 1200, which might have a bit of a look at.
Yep.
So.
And the Villiers, of course.
Yeah, the Group 2 Villiers, the main race. So, did we look at the Razor Sharp? And any thoughts?
It's not a bad race, listed sprint, 140 grand, that's nothing special in prize money terms these days, but you get the better, the upper end of opening sprinters that are around at this time of year.
Yep.
The map is probably going to be critical here. The one I want to find is Signore Fox. He does get back a bit. I don't think that in itself is going to be too big a problem at Randwick tomorrow on true rail. They'll irrigate it, but it'll be a drying track. The last true rail was Everest Day, I think, and it was certainly no disadvantage being on the fence, but it wasn't critical either. You could, things like yes, set 3 wide cover and, hurdle down the middle to win the Everest itself, so it was as close to fair as you'll get in Sydney these days. If that's the case, and there's enough speed on Signore Fox is probably the one I want to be on. He was outstanding in Brisbane last start, got into a dreadful spot last inside over the 1350, ran the, I think it was the fastest last 800 on the entire program, getting home for 5th. He has got tremendous acceleration on his day. We saw him win a race early in the spring at this cracking distance with National Ruler on him. He was dynamic when we were at Hawkesbury on their standalone day back in April. So on his day, he certainly has the ability to turn a foot to win a race like this. The market's found him, he is favourite, but he might be back. I'm still finalising our market there. I've sort of gotten around that price, but I certainly would, if I was going to have a bet in the race, it'd be him and not Multaja, who's very close to him in the market, and I've got a bit of a gap between them. She's another one who, at her best, can win, obviously, certainly has the figures and the ability to win, but she's another get-back horse, and I just think this preparation, she hasn't really delivered on the promise she showed in the autumn, and there's some chance she might be a wet tracker too, but so I couldn't have them as close together as the market does. Around those ones, I thought the one that might be worth saving on was Bonami. It's a bit of a funny preparation for him. I'm not sure what the plan for him is, or they're just running him in all these kind of races now and hoping to just pick up a prize money they can. But he's around the $9 mark, which is a good price for a horse of his ability. He was unsuited last start, got into a bad spot. He was probably under the odds that day too. Barrier 4, he doesn't need to be anywhere near that far back in tomorrow's race, so he could be the value, so to speak. But as it's Signore Fox is definitely my top pick. I'm just going to have to decide how short a price I want to take him, given that he does tend to get back.
It might depend a bit what the market does. And
it might be one of those bets to
monitor.
Look, if the market went from Multaja and against Signore Fox, I'd be happy to take the risk on and just back him. But I'll finalise that market later on today, and
Yeah, the main race 7,
Yep.
is the over the mile of Route 2 Villiers Stakes. Quackerjack's pretty short.
It is.
$3. Your thoughts?
It's not a bad race by any means. It has suffered, I think, from the proliferation of $1 million races every week that they had for a couple of months. We're getting a lot of horses coming out of the gong, the $1 million race at Kembla, including Quackerjack.
Yep.
The one thing in the Villiers' favour, and why a lot of these horses are here, I suppose, is you get free entry into the Doncaster. So that's the hook for this for the horses in this race. Quackerjack, well, he sat 3 wide joint lead at Kembla and fought on really well for second. Just Mr. Seawolf got him in the last 50 metres or so. Great run, very tough effort, and I imagine there'll be no sitting 3 wide here. Imagine I just go to the front. $3 is just way too short. I mean, all the merit from that effort has been priced in. That $3 is very, very short in a handicap like this. That said, to be honest, I found it an even race. So I think there's quite a few chances, and I've actually found a couple at bigger odds, or one of them's big odds and one's reasonable odds down the bottom. 2 lightweights, Bobbing and Misharu. Bobbing, look, these will only be small bets because they're a bit speculative in a sense. Bobbing was set for the Kosciuszko, I'm certain of it. He was wound up to go that day, so we are getting into afterthought territory here. But he's still racing well. He got into a dreadful spot last time and ran on okay. He's drawn for a much better run today. The horse does get back from barrier 3. You know, aside from Quackerjack, there's not hot speed here, so they should try and make some sort of use of that barrier, get him midfield or just off, and he gets a decent run and he's on the limit weight. And you know, at his best, he certainly has the ability to win. The other one is Misharu, who is significantly up in class. I said to someone else after that run at Newcastle, he ran into Strome, who on her day is capable of pulling out a really big run, and that's what happened that day. It might have looked like Misharu had his chance and was a little bit disappointing at Newcastle, but on ratings he's actually gone really well. He just ran into Strome on a really good day, and she actually came out and was just not only beaten at Rose Hill last that day, so she's going really well. And at around $26, I think he's well worth backing. He's down 7 kilos. He's in form. You know, this is it's a Group 2 race. I think in name only. It's a good field, but I don't think he's totally out of place in it. The one query we've got, I suppose, is G. Schofield. They're just going into buy winner at the moment, but I certainly wouldn't want to be on G. Schofield on a 2.20 chance at the form he's in at the moment. But at $26, you've got to take the risk, I think. So that'd be the from a betting proposition. They're the 2 I'm leaning to. Other chances in the race. Rainier won for us last start in the Festival Stakes. I think it was at Rose Hill. Drew Barrier won that day. Kathy O'Hara gave it a perfect ride and won in a photo. You know, just had all favours and fell in. Barrier 9 today. Tomorrow, sorry, it's going to be a bit of a trickier map, so I don't really want to be with him. Eldorado Dreaming had a bit of a checkered passage in the gong. Drawn for a good run here, got a chance. There's just a host of middle pin chances. Noble Boy had no luck in that race either. Jockey change. So, there's quite a few half chances in the race. I think Bobby and Misharu are among those sort of half chances in it, and probably worth backing at the prices.
Bit of value you'd like to see.
Well, value if it wins anyway.
Fantastic. All right, good stuff. As you said, there's a couple other decent races on the card as well.
Race 5's a really good restricted sprint. Some really good horses meeting in that one.
That's the benchmark 74.
Yes, the 3 and 4 year old, that's key. I'm a real big fan of that concept of putting the young improvers together in the one race. That's you get a good feel like that. So there's Superior's top of the market there at the moment from
Split Texans and Iron.
Yeah, and there are other chances in the race as well. It's a good race.
Keep an eye on them. Good stuff. All right. Well, yeah. Good luck there and tonight at Canterbury or Sunday at Hawkesbury if you can find anything.
Well, we'll keep looking, and we've got I think it's Newcastle Provincial tomorrow as well, so we'll be having a look at all of those meetings. There'll be plenty to keep you busy.
Good stuff. Thanks for that.
No problem.